Welcome back everyone to another Company of Heroes 2 replay cast, and this feels weird to say because I haven't actually made the video in a long time, even though I have the Great Return is happening and all that, even though I have I guess participated in the recording of another video which will have gone up probably before this one, which is the cast with Rommel, but that's kind of different because that was, you know, I kind of deliberately kind of played second fiddle there. Anyway, welcome back, everyone, to another Company of Heroes 2 replay cast. This time, this replay was sent in by M. Simonescu, and what's also kind of interesting about this is the fact that this replay was sent over a year ago. Yeah, I mean, obviously in this year, I haven't uploaded any videos, and so no one sent any replays. So a replay from a year ago is the is what I've got to cast. Anyway, if you want to send me replays, I'm gonna have my email in the comments. Also, if you want to, I guess let's do some pleasantries. If you want to, I guess participate in the fun a little bit deeper than just the videos. If you don't know, I have a Discord server where a lot of funny things happen. So yeah, go join that, and it's gonna be interesting for you. It's gonna be an interesting experience because my Discord server is an interesting place. So yeah, let's make sure the content comes out that way as well, because yeah, it's a great way to suggest me things and also, you know, participate in community games and all that. Anyway, the map is Fields of Winnecoke, I think. Winnekedonk, some Dutch name. Not really a map I'm too familiar of because it's obviously kind of one of the newer maps. We have two OKWs on the German side, Simonescu and Geo. And on the Allied side, we have two Soviets. So it's a specular matchup of 2 versus 2, two factions versus two factions. Sorry, one faction, two players. They're both the same faction. It's kind of interesting. Don't see that all the time. Oh, that's very bad engagement for these conscripts. They need to get the hell out of there because they're getting shot at by all these Sturm Pioneers at close range. And the Sturm Pioneers, very well played to go behind the tractor and the well, which was heavy cover. Also good play to try to get into the house, but apparently the conscripts tried to still keep control of that, which was a bit of a lost cause. Maybe they were buying time for the machine gun to set up, and now the machine gun is going to start shooting at the Sturmpiles. The Sturmpiles cannot win that engagement in the long term. Looks like things are also going very well for the Nazis on the right side, as a Maxim machine gun just got annihilated by an incendiary grenade from these Volksgrenadiers, who then steal the machine gun and get the fuck out of there. So the Germans are going to grab control over the right side of the map. And the map looks to be pretty specular, kind of a very classic 2v2 map, with, you know, some negative cover in the middle to provide for difficult crossing, specular fuel points on the two sides, and cutoff points that make sure that the there's an alternative route than just taking the, you know, the far flanks. You can go and cut off through the strategic point, and in fact it looks like both sides have not both sides have not captured a strategic point, even though they pushed further. So yeah, bit of a mistake from both of them, although to be fair, ROKS on the right side, he got pushed back, so it's not like he's losing anything from that cutoff. But yeah, he's slowly pushing back. Interesting incendiary grenade. That looked like a friendly fire incident, to be honest, more than anything else. Yeah, RKS is in big trouble. He doesn't really have a lot of units, but actually Geo doesn't really have that many units either because he's not using his manpower. You know, always got to use your manpower. Also, he did not send his machine gun back, even though it only had 2 men left, and now he needs to get the fuck out of there with all of his units. Shut up, Zero Hybrid Dutchman. I'm getting talked to by actually someone from the Discord server, one of the mods. So yeah. Once again, if you somehow don't know by my Discord server. Anyway, Simonescu also on the left side. He had secured a nice early lead, but he doesn't seem to have used all of his manpower in the way that he could have, and the Luxo, the other Soviet player, comes in with 2 flamethrowers and pushes him out of the buildings. Very nice choice, I think, from the Luxo, because he saw that the OKW were using the buildings to their great advantage, and so he needed those flamethrowers to burn them out. However, this means that he does not have that many munitions to set up mines, or perhaps, I don't know, upgrade maybe his conscripts with the extra infantry soldiers, or, you know, upgrade his guards when those come out, or maybe upgrade some vehicles that might be coming out. Speaking of which, what about the technology? We have support weapons coming in. He will obviously want an AT gun as early as possible to counter perhaps an early Lukes, which on this map seems like would be very, very good, considering it's very open. Nice flamethrower. As you can see, they're paying off for themselves, doing amazing damage on those Volksgrenadiers. Other Volksgrenadiers trying to come around on the flank to come in from behind. However, they got pushed out by the, or they're getting suppressed by that Maxim. First, Grenadier Squad needs to retreat and replenish itself. However, the Sturm Pioneers secure an end at least to the Soviet advance and make them retreat. Now Semenescu can maybe grab some of these points back that he has lost earlier. Still on the right side, very nice counter coming in from ROKS, who I feel like he made a mistake because he did not really play into his doctrinal strength. Nice armored car potentially. Very good against the flamethrower squad for sure, forcing them to retreat. Actually forcing pretty much everybody to retreat. He went for the airborne doctrine, which compared up the Dushka machine gun and airdropped weapons, SVT rifles, and Papasha submachine guns. Really now? Is it these? Yeah, it looks like it's these. So anyways, this doctrine allows you to go for the para-drop Dushka machine gun. And he still went for the support Campanella. Now, obviously, he will need to go for that eventually for the ZIS and tank guns. However, definitely not using the fact that he would have had the ability to spam out those machine guns, and they would have been Dushkas, which is obviously much, much better than the Maxim. Anyway, so, yeah, going for the mortar as well. I mean, I don't know. I really don't think that that was necessarily the best option. If he indeed wanted to go for the airborne doctrine, he perhaps would have been best served going for the tier 1 and trying to go for, I don't know, a clown car and a sniper or something. And then, you know, turned into machine guns with the pair drops. Or just conscript spam, you know. Conscript spam, which would have worked out pretty damn well with the Dushkas. The Dushkas, which may, unless the game has been changed since since I've looked at them, also have the suppressing, sorry, not the suppressing, the armor-piercing rounds, so that would still be pretty good against light vehicles, and you don't need that early AT. Anyways, AT gun gonna get attacked by these Sturm Pios, but the Sturm Pios are a bit without support. The command car, interestingly, been upgraded with the Fug radio set, which is, you know, the thing that allows you to lock down points. So why is he not locking down the fuel point is beyond me. Yeah, I'm seeing a big issue for the Germans right now is the fact that on the side that they're doing better, which is the left-hand side, they're not able to keep control of the strategic point because of this Maxim. I feel like Semenescu definitely would have had a good time going for a support gun. He instead went for the mechanized regiment headquarters, and he brought out a Lux. Now, how long ago was that Lux produced? Units. Sorry, not units. Where is it? It's construction. The Lux came out half a minute ago, so it's brand new. Let's see if the Lux can actually turn things around for Semenescu. However, yeah, we've got, you know, a couple engineer squads, which could have gone for a minesweeper, or sorry, not a minesweeper, for mines. So going for the minesweeper with the Sturm Pioneers, I think, could have been, you know, prudent and trying to sweep out the mines before you go in with your Lux. Would have been a good idea, for sure, at least to be, you know, a little on the safe side. And also we have a T70 from the Luxo. T70, which is an interesting fight with the with the Panzer II. As far as I know, if the Lux goes into the rear armor of the T70, it's going to win because it's got a very fast rate of fire and does a lot of damage, but it doesn't really have the penetration. So staying like this, fighting frontal fight is not a good idea. However, nice bait into the Raketenwerfer, which almost gets the kill on the T70, but the T70 was microed correctly and retreated out fast enough. We do not have the Repair Pioneers upgrade on the Mechanized Regiment headquarters, so he will need to go for the Sturm Pioneer repair. And in the meantime, the strategic point still is not controlled by the Nazis, which is definitely a problem. Another problem is, this time on the Allied side, is the fact that they're not capturing the fuel point on the right, which, nice SVTs on the conscripts. Just switch around the fire. Yeah, I mean, it's over for this machine gun. You need to retreat now. You need to retreat or else you're going to lose that machine gun. Okay, good. Retreating for the negative cover, unfortunately, but, these are conscripts, so it's not like they are going to, actually be able to aim at all. Anyway, it is definitely an issue for the Allies that now that they have a slight advantage on the right side, they have not pushed more aggressively for the fuel point, because it means that they don't have a single fuel point under their control, which is obviously going to be a major issue if this is allowed to sort of continue. That was definitely an over-optimistic flank for the command car. It's getting a lot of kills with that machine gun for sure. Nice usage of the Panzer Tactician or whatever it is. But, unfortunately, the ZIS Divisional Field Gun, there's pretty much nothing that command car can do against it. So it goes up and destroys it easily. And looks like the last remaining gunner on that Maxim is going to manage to defend the ZIS field gun from the infantry that was coming forward to kill it. Pins the Volksgrenadiers. Is it going to be able to pin the Sturm Pioneers as well? No, it's not. How is this guy not getting shot at? I don't understand. However, luckily for the Maxim, he was able to retreat before the Sturmpiles regained their sort of non-pinned status, and so be able to kill it. Anyway, we have a push from 2 guards. Deluxo has a lot of units at play. He's got a lot of manpower as well. Goes for a field gun, which is not a bad choice, I feel like. He went for a doctrine as the ISU heavy tank destroyer, so he needs to be able to hold for a long, long time. And the guards plus the anti-tank gun is definitely going to be enough to counter any single Panzer IV for sure. And he does have a couple machine guns and, some squads that can perhaps deal with the infantry. I would say that the main issue in terms of the Nazis at the moment is the fact that Geo is floating 1,600 manpower. Seminescu is not really floating any resources at all. He's trying to use everything he can to sort of push on his side, but he's getting pushed back. However, his teammate, who was doing very, very well on the right-hand side, somehow, is not really... he's not really using his resources to his full effect, so he cannot send anything to the left-hand side to help. The T-70 is moving up. Is it going to get Panzerfausted? No, the Volksgrenadiers were not able to get into close range. Volksgrenadiers, which are standing out in the open in a blob, definitely a killing field over here for all of these Soviet squads. Also for the T-70, which is murdering them, although the T-70 hasn't really gotten any kills, but it's over Ved 1, so it means it's done a lot of damage. Panzer II Lux is trying desperately to sort of rectify the situation, but it needs to stay very far away because it's got 2 guards rifles with PTRSs and the T-70. And also I think these guards are getting upgraded with DPs, so if the Lux gets too close, then it's going to obviously get buttoned and be in big trouble. Not sure what this flank is going to do for the Sturm Pioneers because they don't have the Panzerschreck, so this looks like you're just losing manpower. In the meantime, the Soviets on the right side are moving up, And they're airdropping some SVTs for the riflemen. Maybe it's going to be in the base. Maybe it's going to be near the front line of Deluxo, which would be nice to help out your ally in this way. Oh, there goes the Raketenwerfer. A bit of an issue. Here comes a T34. Where were those weapons airdropped? Ah, in the base. Yeah, definitely should be pair dropping those SVTs for your allies as riflemen as well. Seems like it would be a good winning strategy actually to help out your teammates in that way. It's only 60 munitions, so yeah. Nice. I love how he has a Maxim that is currently able to sort of protect himself. Here comes the Ura from the conscripts. Is it gonna be enough though? I mean, here comes the Molotov, but oh, the machine gun gets out of the building right into the flames, so obviously that's gonna be enough. Here comes another incendiary grenade, this time from the Volksgrenadiers, forcing the conscripts to retreat through the line of fire of this MG34, I suppose. MG34, which already, however, has other issues, as combat engineers with SVTs and also conscripts with SVTs are charging its position. It's going to be able to get some suppressing fire down. However, the Soviet Maxim is also putting down some suppressing fire for the Nazi infantry, and the Molotov cocktail forces the MG34 to withdraw, and it looks like the Soviets are sort of slowly but surely coming back on the right-hand side of the map. And considering how much they've pushed up on the left, that would be... Is that the Lukes? Yeah, that's the Lukes gone. That's going to be a very, very strong play for the Soviets to grab both sides of the map at once, grab control of all 3 VPs, and they are at 500 VPs, and the Nazis are at 380. So with 3 VPs under their control, they can really put the pressure and the hurt down on the Germans. And we also have a sort of earlier shift into armor, at least on the right-hand side. On the left, we have the T-70, and we have a Katyusha coming in, which is, I feel like, a bit puzzling. A choice? Because it's not like Seminescu has really been able to like build up massive blobs, really, or SimCity at all. So the choice of the Katyusha is really weird to me. I feel like a tank destroyer or a T-34 would have been a hell of a lot better. Especially a T-34, considering that the Raketenwerfer was defeated earlier. Although it looks like it's been recaptured by the OKW. Oh, the Vet-3. Okay, the Vet-3 is going to survive. Panzerfaust. This might be the end of the T-70. Yup, it is. Well played. Nice usage of the Raketenwerfer in combination with the Volksgrenadiers. Lost quite a few models on the Volksgrenadiers, so it's quite a bit of manpower, but it's a sacrifice worth making for that Vet-2 T-70, which if it had been like allowed to stay alive and go to Vet-3, it would have been incredibly fast and would have had a massive spotting range, which is not something that everybody not something that everybody really figures out or, you know, realizes is just how good that is. Here comes some artillery on the machine gun, but they're getting flanked by the Sturm Pioneers, and actually the Soviet control over the left side is kind of being eroded. In fact, the Volksgrenadiers were able to wipe one of these machine guns from the Luxo. The Luxo, who now is on a pretty even footing with Seminescu, and considering the warfare here hasn't really devolved into blobs yet, I don't know, this Katyusha doesn't really seem like, again, the correct choice in my book. However, we will see if it pays for itself. However, the OKW is not bottled up in their sort of headquarters anymore, which is obviously definitely good for them because they're able to put up some pressure, capture some points. Here comes the Katyusha barrage, 4 kills already. Oh, wiped out the MG34 heavy machine gun, so that's definitely a good first barrage. Let's see if they're able to destroy the weapon itself or if it's going to be recruited, perhaps by the Sturm Pioneers once they're manned up. I feel like the Raketenwerfer was trying to hunt down the Katyusha, but that was a bit ambitious, and I think the Raketenwerfer is going to go down. So actually the Katyusha, at least, yeah, I mean, it killed a unit and indirectly led to the Rakenwerfer dying. So that's definitely been a nice... it's definitely been a nice purchase, I would say, for the Soviets, especially if they keep using it correctly. The Soviets have an opportunity right now to really put some hurt down on the Nazis. Oh, the Maxim manages to turn around in time. Are the guards going to throw a grenade? No, they're not going to throw a grenade. Honestly, had they thrown a grenade and wiped out this Maxim, maybe they would have been able to turn around and shoot at the Schwer Panzer quarters and destroy it. But like this means that there's a lot of weapons just kind of sitting around on the left side. The Soviets really need to rush in and grab, especially the AT guns, so that you know, their armor is not going to have an impossible hard time in a bit. Now on the right side, Rox has 2 T34-76s, which could just like come in and wipe out everything, to be honest. Especially with the support of this tactical IL-2 Sturmovik rocket run that he just used for 125 munitions. An attack from these T-34s would be potentially very effective if he can flank these Rakenwerfers, but it doesn't look like he's gonna do this. In fact, he's going to run straight into them, even though he knew that they were... Oh, is this where ROKS loses the game? It looks like this is where ROKS loses the game. He just sent in the 2 T-34s without any infantry support, without any engineer support, without moving up his machine guns, without moving up the AT guns. I mean, he decrewed one of their Rakenwerfers, but, you know, it's immediately recrewed again. And one of the T-34s went down. The other was, frankly, lucky to escape alive. Yeah, certainly a very interesting... Like, he knew that the Rakenwerfer was facing here, so why did his path resemble this instead of this, you know, going around? And why were the infantry units not advancing first to discover where everything was? I don't know. That the 2 T-34s definitely could have wiped out everything here. Like, Geo does have a Schwer Panzer headquarters, but he does not have any panzers out in the field yet. And all of these units, I mean, obviously except for the Rakenwerfers, are very vulnerable to T-34s. But, like, the Rakenwerfers, if they're flanked, they're going to get destroyed by T-34s very quickly. And if they stay in a building, then, you know, the building's going to go down. So, I don't know. It looks like we have some Obersoldaten on the field for Samanescu. That might actually be a very good choice against the Guards Riflemen. And it also might be a good choice because of the choice of the Katyusha on the part of the Luxo. Obviously, the Obersoldaten need to stay very careful not to get hit by the Katyusha, but, you know, it's not like it's a unit that you want to blob anyway, so... Potentially good. The Obersoldaten, they'll need to stop and shoot with their MG34. And yeah, now that they do, they're going to really, like, lay into these Guards Riflemen. However, nice grenade from the Guards, almost wiping out the Obersoldaten. The Obersoldaten probably need to retreat out of here, especially because there's a Guards Airborne from Rox. And, oh, we have a T-34 coming in from the flank. The last surviving T-34. It could wipe out the Obersoldaten. It tries, but it fails. And it runs straight into our Rakenwerfer again when it could have flanked it. There's also Volksgrenadiers, which are going to try to Panzerfaust, I feel like, but they don't Panzerfaust for reasons to me unknown. The T-34 puzzlingly decides to go back straight into the Rakenwerfer, which I still don't understand. And now the captured Zis-free... Oh, you did not... The Luxo did not secure his Zis-free, and he lost it. That was the one that was here. And that leads to the destruction of the second T-34-76. So Rox has just lost... Let's see if I can remember off the top of my head. 140 fuel? Is it 70 fuel? It's 90 fuel now. Holy moly. T-34-76s used to be cheaper than that. Really? They nerfed T-34s? It's not really a unit I thought needed nerfing. Anyway, 180 fuel down the drain. That's like... Yeah, that's a Panther, basically. And now the Nazis have a shitload of infantry. And I wonder exactly what they are gonna go for. Geo might be going for a Sturm Tiger, although I'm not sure exactly how much of a good idea that is, because it's not like the Soviets are going for heavy vehicles at all, or you know, they're not blobbing that much, although they are blobbing a little bit. Katyusha up to 8 kills. Semenescu still hasn't picked his doctrine. He's got 17 points, so whatever he picks, he's going to be fully unlocked. Nice, by the way, I really love this. So you can see that Semenescu watched my videos a long while ago and watched them well. Like, I really love this. He's been constantly sending like single little squads out to the left to cap the fuel point and the VP. So even though the Soviets had the sort of numerical advantage and in general at the upper hand, the Germans have been able to prevent sort of the left side from being always under the control of the Allies. So the VP lead that could have been is not nearly as large as it could have been. Did not phrase that amazingly. Anyway, the VP lead could have been much larger for the Allies than it is right now. So I definitely enjoy this gameplay. He's been using also the line of sight here very effectively. There's been always a machine gun here. However, the machine gun does not really have line of sight through these bushes. So he was able to sneak in very effectively using the true sight system. Fucking relic. And the T34, once again, runs straight into the anti-tank wall. And it's destroyed. That is another 90 fuel down the drain. I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like, if the Allies lose this game, ROKS's T34 sort of control is going to have been to blame. To be completely... And he's sending another one straight in. With, again, no infantry support. He's got two, you know, full health infantry squads. Where are they? He's not really, like, also getting his allies' support at all. I guess nicely flanking right now and getting some pokes in, but it's nothing more than pokes. And, like, yeah, it's really easy to lose vehicles. So, you know, poking at infantry... The infantry can still retreat and replenish. But if you lose those vehicles, you're not getting those back, you know. Like, you need to micro them much better than infantry if you want them surviving. Also, this T-34 does not have Ved 1, so I do not know why you're sending it to the point. It does not have secure mode. And, I mean, the way you're supposed to use T-34s is actually to play very conservatively. Oh, and actually he did go for a Sturm Tiger. It's actually to play very conservatively, I feel like, with them. Because if you play very conservatively with T-34s, you sort of slowly build them up into a big ball. And that's where they become strong. The T-34s become very, very strong when they're a big ball and there's like 4 of them, you know? And at that point, it's really difficult to stop them because you can send 2 from one side and 2 from the other. And, you know, do a lot of damage at once and you cannot destroy them all. And you can like trade 4 T-34s for 2 Panthers and that kind of stuff. That's, I feel like, when T-34s really become strong. But not when it's only a 1. At least not at this stage in the game. Unless you get, like, extremely lucky with main gun shots. Anyway, the Sturm Tiger, we'll see how exactly effective that's going to be. Nice attempt at salvaging the anti-tank gun. Unfortunately for Semenescu, that was stopped by the guards. The guards are moving forward. They're going to be instantly suppressed by this Maxim. Immediately, the Maxim uses sustained fire, so that was a very good usage of the captured unit. Immediately using the special ability to sort of increase the effectiveness to the maximum. There comes the wipe of an engineer squad that was laying down mines. Good on them to lay down the mines, but yeah, they're now wiped. And things are overall sort of not looking all that great for the Allies. The T-34 moving in on the left. could have done some damage to the folks, but the folks smartly withdraw. Now, nice OP from ROKS on the strategic cutoff point. But actually, he seems to have forgotten that there's another cutoff point over here. Why are there two soundtracks playing at once? I feel like this bug is not new. Anyway, looks like he's trying to wipe these units in the building. And he was not able to. Damn, those rockets really do nothing to buildings. And that was a waste of a lot of munitions. And here comes the Panther on the field for Semenescu. Oh, that could perhaps chase it down. It's a risky choice to go with your Panther alone. Now, it's the same mistake that the Allies did. However, doing it with the Panther is definitely a whole sort of other piece of cake. Because, you know, it's certainly a lot more survivable. I feel like it's also a bit faster. And it's got a lot more HP. We have an ISU 152 for the Luxo. This could potentially turn things around, but he has lost a lot of his sort of bread and butter units, and that's always a danger when you go for these like big units, is you, in the meantime, losing. Okay. Huh. Well, this ISU 152 is incredibly lucky. Like, what were the chances that the Panther just, like, appeared in its line of sight when it was looking like this? Very nice buttoning, by the way, from these guards. Again, pretty lucky that they were in range for that. However, because he has lost all of his AT guns and, you know, he's only got one conscript squad left, etc., this Panther being behind enemy lines was not fatal to it, and it was able to escape. So, yeah, you can already see sort of the problems coming in. Nice Sturm Tiger shell. However, it looks like the Germans are losing a lot of our Kettenwerfers in the center to a infantry push from our OKS. However, a lot of his infantry is in a pretty bad shape, and his one T34 is not getting repaired. He's only got one engineer squad that he constantly sends to fight because it's got SVTs. Definitely, again, the armor play from ROKS. I feel like he should have been the one to go for Katyushas and not the Luxo, in hindsight. Because he really does not know how to use T34s. And yeah, like, you may have invested so much into this ISU 152, but like, the fight now has shifted to the far flanks. And that's exactly what the ISU 152 is bad at. The ISU-152 is really effective when you can just park it in the center and it can shoot sort of non-stop, right? Especially with its HE rounds and get some wipes. It's shooting with AP rounds right now. And yeah, I mean, the ISU especially is going to be also vulnerable to the Sturm Tiger. Sturm Tiger in combo with the Panther flanking. You know, the Sturm Tiger could stun it, and the Panther could flank and finish it off. So it's definitely a difficult situation for it. And again, the fight has shifted to the flanks. Nice usage of the, you know, couple of units that the Germans have that can hold the flanks. And just look at the amount of, like, flesh units that Geo has. He's got 85 in terms of pop cap. And it's almost all infantry and machine guns and support guns and Rakettenwerfers. So he's just able to cover a massive area of the front and get a lot of map control, which is definitely helpful, as Semenescu is definitely going for the sort of more specialized units with the Obersoldaten, the Panther, and soon a Jagdpanzer, which I feel like is the wrong choice against an ISU 152. I would have definitely gone for a second. Oh, there goes the conscript. I would definitely have gone for another Panther to flank around, and although the Jagdpanzer might have a lot of things to shoot at with all these T34s, if they don't all die right now, that is. The heavy assault gun is not switching to high explosive, which is a bit of an issue considering that he's only facing infantry. And yeah, the Luxo is losing all of his vet infantry. Oh my god, it's over for the Luxo. Like, it doesn't matter that his Katyusha got 30 kills, so it's like obviously doing very well. It's just... he has lost his irreplaceable vet Soviet units, and so I really don't see how he's gonna be ever useful again as a player in this match. Here comes the Sturmtiger, almost destroying the Ziskan. Would be nice to finish it off in some way or another. Sturmtiger is gonna run away now. The Panther runs straight into the IS-2-152, which was a bold choice for sure, but it's being supported by a couple anti-tank guns. The anti-tank guns plus the Panther are actually almost destroying the IS-2-152, which I feel like is a bit ridiculous. There goes the T-34 number 1. There goes the T-34 number 2. That's where the Jagdpanzer comes in. Nice protecting the flank of the Panther. And yeah, I mean, honestly, the Panther could maybe run in and destroy everything else right now. Looks like the Jagdpanzer is going to be earmarked for that duty. It's getting buttoned by the guards, but they're forced to retreat. Here comes a shot into the ISU-152, but the ISU-152 manages to shrug the round off of its frontal armor. Also, you know, the frontal armor of the Jagdpanzer is obviously not good enough for the ISU-152's armor-piercing rounds, which in general was why I was kind of baffled at the choice of the Jagdpanzer, because it is definitely one of the worst units to take on the ISU-152 with. Also, the Panther moving forward, very bold. Could have lost it, honestly, had it been using its tracking ability. If it had been using the tracking, it would have managed to spot the Panther probably long enough to get a second shot off. Maybe the Sturmtiger could have, in the meantime, come up and tried its, you know, its shot at destroying it. The Germans are kind of making the same mistake that the Allies were making earlier by sending in everything piecemeal. But at the same time, you know, it's the late game Germans. There's like free vet-free Volksgrenadiers. And, you know, it's in general late game Germans. Like, if they have the advantage and they're not at, like, you know, 50 VPs, it's very difficult for the Allies to come back. It requires both the Germans... Oh, well, there goes one of the Vet 5s from the Katyusha. It requires both the Germans throwing massively, which they are not yet throwing massively, although they are throwing a bit. And also the Allies pulling off some amazing plays, to be completely honest. They do still have 3 T34 76s, which maybe could be used... Oh, there goes the machine gun. Maybe the T34 76s right now could be used to finish off this Sturmtiger if they were being used boldly in a big flank. But again, there's a lot of captured Zis guns and Reckenwerfers in the rear for the Nazis, so they can protect the Sturmtiger. Here comes the Soviet armored assault, again with no infantry support. And the ISU-152 still, I'm guessing, has not loaded high explosive, so it cannot take on the anti-tank guns on its own. This is very frustrating. The Soviets, at multiple points, had the tools necessary to win this game, but they definitely threw it out. And now T-34 76s are trying to fight toe-to-toe with anti-tank guns at long range, which is obviously not a good idea. There go both of the T-34 76s in a matter of seconds, and that leaves the Panther completely... The Panther and the Vet 2 Katyusha, almost Vet-free Katyusha, completely unguarded against the Panther. The Panther manages to arrive in, uses the combat blitz perfectly to get out of the line of sight of the ISU-152 after destroying the Katyusha, and gets into the rear of the ISU-152. Now it is behind it, and I feel like that is the end of the ISU-152 as well, and the Allies don't have the resources to really replenish any more units, and as you can see by the replay timer, the game is over. So I would say definitely what secured the victory for the Germans was an excellent sort of amount of backcapping on the left side, a very good usage of the Panther, for sure, better focus on retrieving weapons that were left sort of on the ground. This from both players, so Semenescu with the AT guns especially, but also Geo with the machine guns. This Maxim he stole got up to vet 3. Vet free? What the fuck? So I guess if you steal a Soviet weapon, it does not go to Vet 5 anymore? I guess not. That is, you learn something new about Company of Heroes every day. Anyway, and sort of better in the long-term unit preservation for sure. I mean, you've got a lot of Vet 5s on those Volksgrenadiers. Not that many Vet 5s on the other units, but, you know, yeah, one Sturmpile for sure. I mean, I would say in general, like, the Germans did that. Big mistakes that cost the Allies the game. Well, for sure, the usage of the T34s was extremely bad, to be completely honest. So that was not up to par. Yeah, that was pretty much it. You know, lack of flanking maneuvers, lack of good usage of the T-34 76s, and lack of attention, again, to the flanks and the weapon teams, specularly to the fact that the Germans managed to use them very well. So anyways, that's the end of this replay. I want to thank y'all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. As always, you know, if you want your replay casted, send it in. Make sure it's at least a decent game. And stay tuned for more. You know, I'll definitely try to upload pretty frequently, at least for a while. Because I'm back in the groove. I'm back in the groove for the videos, you know, back into entertainment. So yeah, anyway, thank y'all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.